everyone, and welcome back to my channel. For today's video, I am breaking down the easiest smoky eye you will ever do. It is 2 brushes, I think, and 1 palette, and I actually used an affordable palette. Today I did use the e.l.f. 18 Hit Wonders eyeshadow palette. It was a couple shades out of here, but super easy to replicate if you don't have this palette. But I did go affordable because you guys know I use a lot of bougie stuff, and I wanted to kind of take a step back and go a little bit more affordable today. So if this is something you're into, make sure to keep on watching, and please don't forget to subscribe because I upload it 3 or 4 times a week, and that'll be the best way to stay up to date on all the fun stuff I'm posting. So if you want to see the easiest smoky eye ever, hang out with me, maybe do your makeup with me, stay tuned. Alright, so jumping right in, the base is already done because I basically do the same thing in every video, so I'll link up above like a base routine of some sorts. But I did use the cheek palette from Pretty Vulgar for basically the whole cheeks today. I'm not wearing a tinted moisturizer today, I'm actually in a full foundation, and I think it looks good, but a little heavy because I've been on MVP's Beauty for Real's MVP for so long that the first time I'm wearing like real foundation, I feel like it looks super heavy. So I don't know if I'm going to do that again anytime soon. For the eye look today, we're keeping it super affordable. I'm going to be using 1 palette and 1 liner. The liner is going to be Whiskey from Beauty for Real, which is a really pretty brown. And I'm using the e.l.f. 18 Hit Wonders palette because I really want to play with these matte browns and like the orangey, pumpkin spicy shades. You guys will have seen the intro, so you know exactly what this is going to look like. So I'm going to start for a super simple smoky eye, pulling in the shade down here, which is Shade, which is just a matte, like, gray-brown. And with this, I'm going to press it all over the lid, and I need a mirror. All over the lid, and I'm going to slowly buff it towards my crease. So the way this is going to work is I'm really just concentrating this in the socket of the eye and on the lid. Now this palette is actually quite nice, and the amount of pigment in it for such an affordable palette is great. Now I know this doesn't look super intense, but I am taking such a small amount on my brush at a time that it's not that there's no pigment here, it's that I am taking it very gently and building it up slowly, because I don't want this to look like we have a black eye. I want it to look like an intentional smoky eye. Now this is going to be a pretty warm-toned look, but I do like going in with a neutral tone like this for the same reason you use a neutral tone when you contour your face. By adding that neutral color as a base, it's going to help the warm tones really pop, and it's going to give it a really nice shadow. For step 2, on the tip of the brush, I'm going to go into Summer right here, which I know that this is supposedly a summery palette, but for some reason when I look at these shades, I go fall. And I'm going to take that just on the tip of the brush, and I'm just going to buff that in and above the socket of the eye in that crease, just to add that warmth and blend out that gray-brown tone. Then just building that up slowly, I'm going to take Heat, which is an orange. It does have a tiny bit of like these golden shimmers in there, and I'm going to take that in the socket directly, just to add a little bit more warmth. I do want it to gradiate from brown to this orange tone in the crease, just so that it gives our smoky eye a little bit more depth. Now that that transition color is down, I'm going to go back into that first gray-brown shade, and I'm just going to re-intensify all of that color that we put on the lid before. Then once I feel like that color is nice and saturated, I will blend that into the crease. Careful not to cover up that orange, but just gently blending up to it. Now you see how that much intensifying it versus this one just makes the whole thing look a little bit more pulled together. And for those of you with hooded eyes like me, whenever you're blending your eyeshadow, I always kind of look down at the mirror and tilt my head back, and I angle my brush almost like I'm holding it straight up, and I blend the crease that way, because that's what's going to make sure when you look forward, you can still see your eyeshadow, because you know how it is. When you open your eyes and you don't see anything, that is a problem. Now I am going to keep this pretty matte everywhere, but I am going to take some highlight in the inner corner. But before I do that, I'm going to take Supreme, which is a warmer brown shade, and I'm going to take that on the outer portion of the eye. This is going to deepen it up a bit, and it's also going to help blend that warmth up and into the orange, which I will be adding a little bit more of in a bit. The key to a really good smoky eye, first off, is really taking the time to blend every shade, but it's really pairing shades so that everything works well together. You want to make sure that the matte on the crease blends into the darker transition shade, which contrasts from that vibrant color in the crease. And notice how I am still using the same brush from the beginning. I have not switched brushes yet at all. Tiny bit more of heat, the orange shade, just to blend that crease one more time. I know this looks a lot, but it doesn't have anything on the lower lash, and there's no mascara lashes or anything on, so that is going to help it look a little bit better after. Don't worry. The smoky eye technique, I will say 100% honesty, looks like crap until it doesn't. Like, you got to give it its time to make everything come together. Next, I'm going to grab that liner I spoke about before, and I'm going to put it in the waterline. Now with this liner, you can really smoke it out, but if you don't and you just let it set down, it will set and lock itself in. So today I'm going to let it set. Normally, you guys know I would buff it out and make it super grungy, but I want to use shadows to get that grunge effect today. So instead of buffing it out that way, I'm going to let it set down and then grab a pencil brush. And I'm going to basically do the same thing I did up top. I'm going to start with the transition shade really close to the lash line, then build a little bit of the oranges around it, connecting so that the orange up here becomes the orange under here. And then I'll take a tiny bit of Supreme really close to the lash just to tie the whole thing together. So first the gray, then blend that out with the light orange. And notice I'm not taking it all the way to the inner corner, I'm really just focusing it on the outside. Then with the larger, fluffier side of this is the two-sided shadow brush from Beauty For Real. I'm going to then take the orange, and I'm going to take that and connect it to this outer corner so that it all looks like it is one continuous color. Now that we have the basic shape down, going into the first brush that we used, I'm going to take a little bit more of the lighter orange, and I'm just going to buff and connect to the outer corner and then the crease, really just connecting and perfecting the shape I want out here. And I'm using the lighter orange because it's a little less intense. So I want it to really just look like this whole thing is one eye as opposed to top and bottom. And notice how by not putting anything on the inner corner, it already has this highlighted effect because of the no color there. So when we go in with the shade up here, Pave, it is really going to pop. I'm going to grab a small detail brush for that. I'm going to take actually I'm going to use Quartz. It's a little peachier instead of as pink, because I think the peachy will look really cute going up against this matte brown. Normally, you guys know I would blend this up and onto the lid, but because we have a matte lid, I'm not going to do that. I will take the lower lash brush and just really blend right here under the inner corner and then right on the bridge of the nose. Just because by blending away some of that shimmer, it's going to make the pinpoint on the inner corner a little bit more clean, but I don't want this super beaming because compared to the matte on the lid, it's already pretty intense. One last time, I'm going to go into shade, and I'm just going to pack a little bit more of that brown all over the lid, because anything we blended away, I want to make sure we intensify again, because this is the star of the show. All right, I am going to go throw on mascara and a quick lash, and I'll show you how this all comes together. Then we'll show what kind of lip to pair it with, because with a smoky eye, as you guys can see, it's a little all over the place, and it doesn't look perfect, but the second you put that lash on, it all comes together. Because I can't multitask very well, I took my Beauty For Real neutral lip liner on the entire lip, just because I can't talk and do that at the same time. And because it's a little like pinky peachy, I do want to make it a little bit less neutral, or more neutral, less pink. So I'm going to take the Marc Jacobs Sugar Enamored Lip Balm and put that right on top. And that just neutralizes a little bit of that pink, making it a little bit more brown. And that is the finished look. So because I did go super matte on the eyes, I did add a little extra highlight to the face because I like something to be glowing, hence the glowy lip and the glowy cheeks. But let me know what you guys think. I love a good smoky eye, and this was one of the easiest I've done in a while. So thank you guys again, and I will see you next time. Bye.